Hey everybody, I'm Chef Jeffrey Gardner with SouthernKitchen.com. Today we're going to be making a penne pasta with a chicken ragu. If you're like me, you grew up with some kind of pasta and ground meat sauce. We're going to be putting a little bit of a unique spin on it today by using Springer Mountain Farms chicken. As you can see, I've got all my ingredients laid out before me, but for a full recipe and list of ingredients, scroll down below. So to get started, the first thing we're going to prep are our vegetables. As you can see over here, I've got some onions, celery, carrots, and whole garlic cloves. A great tip when you're making a ragu or a Bolognese style sauce is to puree your vegetables in a food processor instead of chopping them by hand. You'll get more surface area for better browning. So we're just going to add everybody in. And again, we're looking for this almost to get to a coarse paste consistency, so very fine. As you can see, we've got a nice paste going on here. So we've got a pot, Dutch oven on medium heat. We're going to add just a little bit of olive oil to this and then go in with our vegetables. Now we really want these to brown, so we're going to stir this frequently, even turning the heat up to medium-high to make sure all the water cooks out of this, the vegetables soften, they'll deepen in flavor, and turn a nice golden brown. One way to aid in the browning is to give our vegetables just a hefty pinch of salt. This is going to help pull the moisture out. We'll go in with more flavorings later, but we want to start with the seasoning right now, just to layer it throughout the dish. It's been about 15 minutes. Take a look inside the pan. There's a lot of browning on the bottom. That's flavor development. We're going to add some things later that will pull all of that into our sauce. But right now, we're going to add just a little bit of chopped thyme and some crushed red pepper. Just give that a quick stir. Don't need to cook it very long, just enough to kind of wake up the oils and the thyme and the pepper, just so you can start smelling it nice and fragrant. Great, so the next thing we're going to go in with is ground chicken. We've taken a whole Springer Mountain Farms chicken and put it through a grinding attachment on a mixer. We've pulled the skin off and we've taken the meat from the bones before we put it through the grinder. We're going to add this to the pot, and much like the vegetables, we're going to get some browning on this chicken. The natural moisture that's inside is going to begin to lift some of that flavor off the bottom of the pot. Just like with any part of layering flavors and seasoning, we're going to go in with some salt and also some freshly ground black pepper. As you can see, we're already starting to lift some of this flavor, or fond as we call it, off the bottom of the pot. We're going to keep this on medium heat for about 10 to 15 minutes or until our chicken is golden brown. As you can see, our chicken is nicely browned. We've been stirring it the entire time just to keep that nice ground meat texture and prevent it from clumping up. Now here's what's going to separate your Bolognese or your meat sauce from all the imposters. We're going to start with tomato paste. This is not going to be too tomatoey. We just want enough to kind of have a good background note. This is about 1/4 cup. We're going to stir this because we want to really develop this flavor and almost get our tomato paste to caramelize and turn from its vibrant red color to almost a rust or copper color. Don't be alarmed that the bottom of the pot has a lot of browning on it. That's coming up, and that's going to be wonderful flavor in our sauce. All right, our tomato paste is toasted. Next secret, milk. We're going to add a little wine later, but the milk is going to add a great richness, fattiness, and prevent the wine from turning the meat too acidic. This is going to begin to pull all of these flavors off the bottom of our pot, but we're really looking for the milk to toast and caramelize here and reduce to almost nothing. Our milk has reduced and absorbed into the meat. This is looking good. Next thing, we're going to go in with white wine. This is applicable even if you're making a meat sauce with ground beef. You always want to use white wine. Just a little bit more of a neutral flavor, a little less strong than red wine might be, because in the end, we want to taste the chicken. As you can see here, the wine has reduced pretty much by half. We're going to add another stage of seasoning, a little more salt and pepper. And then we're going to go in with some chicken broth. We can keep adding more, but the real crux of this sauce is the reduction of the stock to almost this meat-like gravy as it keeps cooking. This is where the flavors of our sauce are truly going to develop and taste like something that's been simmering for hours and hours and hours. We're going to let this reduce. We may add a little bit more. We're going to see how we like the sauce and just kind of repeat the process as needed. As you can see here, our sauce is reduced almost to this gravy-like consistency. It just looks like a classic meat sauce. So we're going to add, we have some cooked penne pasta here. You want to cook your pasta about 1 minute less than it tells you on the package directions. You want it to be nice and al dente, which means to the tooth. It's going to have a little bit of bite to it because we're going to finish it in the sauce, and we don't want our pasta to be gummy. Throwing everybody in here. You're gonna look for about a 50-50 ratio of pasta to sauce. Typically you wanna have just enough sauce to coat the pasta, but with a delicious ragu like this, 50-50 is really what you want. You can also see there's almost no browning left on the bottom of the pot. The sauce, as it reduced, the liquid just pulled all of that off of the bottom of the pot. Just keep stirring here, make sure your pasta is warmed through. If you feel like it's a little thick for you, we reserved some of the cooking water from our pasta. You can see it's really cloudy and starchy, and it also has salt in it from when we heavily seasoned it earlier before we boiled the pasta. You just want to add a little bit at a time until you get at the consistency that you like. I always like to go with a little bit because this is the time when I add some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. I like to go with about half a cup at this phase, and then we'll grate some more on right when we're ready to serve. Love using a microplane for this. Grates it much finer, and then you can distribute it all the way through the pasta. So hang on to that for later, and now just stir. Let the cheese coat everything. All right, now it's time to serve. We're going to serve this family style, but you can do individual portions if you like. Great blend of the chicken to pasta ratio here. You're going to be able to get some of both on every forkful. This is where I like to hit it with a little bit more Parmigiano Reggiano. And then finish with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. There you have it, just that easy. Penne pasta with ground chicken ragu. For more recipes like this, visit springermtn.com. We'll see you next time.